Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. My name is Takia, and if you found your way to this video, then I am serving as your earth guide or earth angel for the time being, or as long as you need me. Today we're going to get into a weekly Tarotscope reading for the sign of Taurus. Before we get into that, I do want to remind everyone, especially if you're new to tarot and divination, this is a general reading, and so all messages shared in today's video will not resonate with every aspect and every area of your situation and or life. And so it's important to take what resonates and leave what does not. A good tip in that would be, if you leave the reading more confused than you were going into it, then it probably was not your reading, it was not your message. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into this reading, Taurus. The first card I pull out will represent you and your energy for this week, Taurus. Okay, Spirit, let's get one card for I can't talk today. Taurus's energy for this week. Spirit, what is Taurus's energy this week? Taurus's energy for this week. Some of you guys may actually be dealing with the Virgo, because I kid you not, we have the Phoenix that showed up for Virgo as well, or this may be an earth sign thing in general, with the bee at the bottom of the deck. The bee and the Phoenix showed up for Virgo. So if you know a Virgo, you may be going through a similar phase in your life for this week. You this week, Taurus, are the Phoenix rising. Okay, this was Virgo's obstacle. Some of you guys may have Virgo placements in your chart. Check that out, because this is really interesting, because what's happening this week for you, Taurus, is I feel like you're rising above, transmuting any negative and low vibrational frequencies and energies that were keeping you in a low place, okay? I do feel like you've experienced some sort of difficulty in the recent past, okay, Taurus? And what's happening for this week is you're choosing to, instead of dwell on the negativity and see things for the negative, you're choosing to take the lessons from those experiences and use them for your betterment, which is the energy of the Phoenix. That's when we rise above our circumstances. We no longer allow ourselves to be defined and confined in these boxes that we set up for ourselves, or that we allow others to set up for us. I do see you leaving behind a lot of things, or maybe just being in the thought of leaving behind certain things this week, because I do see you rising or elevating in your vibration, which happens when we level up in consciousness or awareness, okay? What is Taurus's obstacle for this week? Okay, we get two coming out, but I only want one. So I'm going to put them back and ask Spirit to just give us one card for Taurus's obstacle. Thank you. Okay, so Taurus, your obstacle for this week is that of the horse. This could represent an actual person, but I don't feel so, Taurus. I feel like this is your own energy presenting itself as an obstacle here. So I feel like whatever you're learning in the spiritual realm, okay, the spiritual truths you're awakening to, the awareness you're shifting into, I feel like what's happening now, though, your difficulty this week is grounding that energy, grounding what you're learning in the spiritual realm into the physical realm, so that you can create I'm just hearing domain, but it's like gaining full control over your life in the physical realm, okay? And that comes from a certain amount of spiritual knowledge, okay, and transmutation of negative energies, a knowledge of self, okay? With this being the obstacle, Taurus, I feel like since this is the Phoenix showing itself, there may be something or a particular challenging situation that you're going through this week. you may have difficulty staying grounded and staying spiritually strong, because I do get a sadness coming from this horse. Like, the horse is strong mentally, spiritually, and physically because it has endured a lot to get to that point, okay? And so whatever difficulties you've been experiencing up until this point in your life this week, I feel like is serving to teach you certain lessons, Taurus. And I feel like you're no longer ignoring those lessons, especially with the Phoenix being your energy this week. You're choosing to ascend, to rise above them, to take the lessons and transmute them into positive energy. But with the horse being the difficulty here is it's like a bittersweet energy, because there are certain things that you know you have to let go of now as you shift and move into this new reality, this new way of being. Okay, and I do get the sense of almost a loneliness here with the horse. Okay, so this may indicate you having to cut certain ties, or even just withdrawing yourself this week in order to understand or process everything that's going on for you energetically. Okay, for some of you guys, what this is representing is there's almost an imbalance when it comes to your groundedness, because you're dealing with a high level of energy here. So it's almost like keeping you in the clouds mentally. It's almost hard to stay focused here. And we know that the horse is an animal or a creature who is attuned to both the spiritual and physical realm. He has mastered the spiritual and therefore has domain over his physical realm. He's free. The horse is free. And I don't mean to say he, like all horses are male, but the horse has domain over his I don't even know what I'm trying to say. He's free. He's not contained or confined by anyone else's experience but his own. And even in his own experience, he doesn't allow anything that he experiences that he perceives to be negative or difficult. He doesn't allow those things to hinder him from moving forward. Instead, he uses them to gain strength, which is that energy of the Phoenix, using them for our betterment rather than our detriment. Okay, that's a conscious decision, a conscious choice we make. And I feel like, Taurus, this week you're making that conscious decision to see the good in everything you've gone through up until this point. And what's happening as a result of that is there's going to be a shift within your perception here. And it's going to help you elevate in awareness. But with the horse being your challenge, though, it is going to be a challenge grounding these energies into the physical realm. You're moving into a new domain, okay? I feel like, Taurus, if you're resonating with this message, the Taurus I'm speaking to, I feel like you're someone who relied a lot on external influences and the way other people saw you. And so this moving into having full control over your domain and full say in your own experience here on the earthly plane, this is new territory for you. Okay, there are new concepts and spiritual truths that are presenting themselves to you, but it's particularly going to be difficult remaining grounded with all of these energies coming at you this week. For some of you guys, the horse is representing an actual person that's trying to stop this transformation from occurring for you. But I don't see that happening, okay? I don't see it happening. I feel like you've gone too far, Taurus, when it comes to spirituality to even be turned back, okay? It's like you crossed the threshold, okay? And so you can't turn away from what you've just experienced, Taurus. It's like once you align to the higher way, like the higher perspective and the higher vibrations, things of the lower nature don't have any appeal to us anymore. And I feel like that's what's happening for you, Taurus. So those any connections or friendships that you were entertaining just out of comfortability or feeling like you owe these people loyalty or this person loyalty if there's a relationship involved here. It could also be work, but I'm really channeling relationships changing, relationship dynamics changing for you this week, Taurus, as a result of this new perspective you're shifting into. And again, it's like that, I feel like that is a lot of what this obstacle is with the horse. It's like finally having the full say and not allowing other people's feelings or perception influence your decisions, okay? I feel like you did that in the past, Taurus, and there's that's coming full circle. You're clearing that karmic energy out. Okay, so we got relationships as your messages, as your advice from Spirit. And so again, I'll say this again, I do feel like a lot of you guys are cutting out certain people from your life that aren't in alignment with this new perspective here, because I feel like, again, you've gone too far to even turn back or ignore the signs anymore, Taurus. Relationships are just mirror images of your own life, how you feel and treat yourself, as well as how you react and respond to different situations and people around you. Be aware that every relationship is an opportunity for soul growth. Okay, and I feel like, Taurus, what's happening now is you're realizing this truth, okay, this week, which is that of the Phoenix, okay? So if there's been an ending, can't speak, if there's been an ending in any sort of relationship here or relationships, I feel like you're taking the high road. You're seeing the higher perspective. You're taking what you could learn from those circumstances or those situations with those people. You're not necessarily moving from a space of judgment or holding resentment against these people. You are having full awareness of how these people played certain roles or parts in your life, and this transition into where you're going now. It's almost like you had to experience these people or situations in order to gain this deeper awareness of who you are at the core level. You have to go through the dark to see the light. You have to experience the negative to know the positive. Okay, and I feel like that's what's happening for you now, Taurus, is you're gaining that awareness. At the bottom of the deck, we do have gratitude. Life is one big continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what's in your life. Instead of complaining about what you don't have, if you focus on gratitude, you'll start attracting prosperity and abundance. Okay, so again, this is your advice for this week, Taurus. And I do feel like, Taurus, again, Spirit is wanting you to be grateful for the people that you still do have in your life if you're having to let go of certain people. Being thankful for those people who are still in your life or who are still resonating with you. Because it can be difficult. Like I said, I was getting a lonely energy here with the horse. So it can be difficult being in this space of being alone for the first time for a lot of you guys in a really long time. You're not used to being in this lonely energy. But you can't ignore the signs anymore. It's becoming very uncomfortable to be around certain people now that you've shifted your awareness. So Spirit is wanting you to, and for some of you guys, be aware of the energy you're projecting onto people, because I feel like in the past you may have been someone who was coming from a very insecure place as a result of your past experiences. And you projected this insecurity onto a lot of the people in your life, okay? And it caused you to take certain people for granted, certain relationships for granted. And you're moving in the Phoenix energy now, but instead of taking the lessons previously, you kind of just moved on to the next thing rather than taking the time out to reflect. And really get to the bottom or core of the issues that you are having in these relationships. And I do feel like with the Phoenix showing up here, Taurus, instead of being in that mentality of things happening to you, shifting into that reality or mentality of things happening for you, for your soul's growth, recognizing that every difficult situation that presents itself to you is an opportunity to grow in your soul, in your understanding. It takes you out of that lack mentality and that choosing or only being able to see the negatives in situations. And I feel like you're coming to full awareness of the people in your life who influence or influence that way of thinking and tried to keep you at that level of thinking, because they were also operating in that vibration. They were also seeing things from that perspective as well. And so I feel like you're bidding these people a farewell, okay? Or this person, you're parting ways with this person. And I feel like it's going to bring a major shift within your life. And it's going to call forth a time of solitude, okay? Which I feel like for a lot of you Tauruses, if you're resonating with this message, is going to be unfamiliar for you. You're used to having this person around. You're used to being able to talk to this person about certain things. And so leaving this person behind is going to open up a new chapter of your life that's going to start at first with a lot of solitude and alone time. And for some of you guys, that can be quite scary to experience at first. Or not even scary, but I'm going to say boring almost. And so you may have a desire at some points to kind of revert back. But like I said, again, you've journeyed a little bit too far beyond the threshold to even ignore the signs anymore. And I feel like that's what's happening for you this week, Taurus. Spirit is wanting you to give gratitude for those people and those situations and let them go with grace. Okay, and also be thankful for those relationships that you do still have that are in alignment with where you're going, Taurus, and seeing the positive in every situation that you're presented with, whether you perceive that person to be doing something to harm you or hurt you intentionally or not. Just seeing it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn something more about yourself and people in general. All right, so Taurus, that has been your reading for this week. I hope you found something of resonance here that will help you with the coming week. And I hope you check out another video. If you liked this video, I hope you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And I hope to see you on another video. Bye, Taurus.